Why beer? Beer's good. It's tasty. It's refreshing. What else do you want to know? Why do I make the beer, or why
beer?
do I
like
beer?
why did you choose beer?
I find just beer far more enjoyable than wine, or spirits. I can enjoy more varieties of beer in a session or an evening than I can, types of wine or spirits. As far as making it, I make it at home, and it's much easier to make very good beer at home than I think it is to make good wine at home, at least relative to cost as well. Yeah,
That's
good
cool.
reasons, yeah.
Why do you think some people are still resistant to craft beer?
I think there's a little bit of a stigma associated with craft beer. Craft beer can be very simple and very tasty, but along with craft beer comes a lot of experimentation, and I think people are a little bit resistant to the experimentation side of it. So when they think of craft beer, they think sometimes of maybe the slightly off-center craft beers, and that scares them off. But I mean, you'll taste here, and you've tasted on the tour previously, there's very good, simple craft beers. Our tailgate lager, our adult knife, beers like that are sessionable, quenching of the thirst, all that kind of stuff, and they don't have to be sort of freaky.
Not scary.
Yeah, that's right. And I think people get scared off a little bit by some of the craft beers that are out there.
Well, I guess when some people started, like we were at one brewery yesterday, and they did a cedar berry.
Yeah.
And I think some people see that, it's just like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's neither good nor bad.
Right.
I mean, I like it. I love the experimentation side of it. I know from my own side of things at home, the beer that I make, I tend to be fairly conservative with what I'm making, only because I'm making a volume that I need to enjoy. I can experiment with maybe a smaller volume, but the larger stuff I wouldn't do.
Okay.
But for sure, yeah, people get scared off by smoked beers, fruit beers. Oh, there should never be fruit in beer, and all that kind of stuff. There's those attitudes that are out there, unfortunately. But
Where does your water come from?
we use straight municipal water. In our area where we are, the municipal water is drawn from wells, so it's very hard water. Works great for brewing what we brew, and we don't treat it at all. So we keep it simple. It works for us and makes the beer that we brew.
Great. What's unique about your process or a recipe here?
In part, actually, what I was just talking about, the water, for sure. Being very hard creates a distinct character to the beer. A couple of other things on the side. We're the only kosher certified brewery in Ontario. That's a big thing.
It can be as simple as
The water, for sure.
Yeah. We got a couple of those actually. The water is the big
Well,
deal.
a side note on that. I mean, all the breweries, we're sourcing our malts and hops from essentially the same places. And there's not going to be a huge variety in what we're getting. We're all going to be using two-row as base malt primarily. We're going to be using similar kinds of hops. There's going to be some variation there. I mean, some guys are going to be using all Ontario malts or all Ontario hops or something like that. But what really makes each brewery unique is the water, for sure. I mean, even if we use the same ingredients, the same hop schedule, everything, 99% of the beer is water, and that's what's going to make it really unique.
Favorite movie?
I forgot about these questions. Favorite movie? God. I don't know, there's a few right off the top of my head. Babette's Feast is one. Babette's Feast.
Oh.
It's a food movie. Cry the Beloved Country. Those are two right off the top of my head.
So crystal ball, what's going to happen in the craft independent beer industry in the next, say, 10 years?
The next 10 years, I don't know. The pendulum has swung a little bit. I know like 5 to 10 years ago, particularly in the US, the beers were huge. and we tend to be kind of 5 to 10 years behind the U.S. anyways. But the pendulum has swung down there for sure to more session beers. It's swinging that way here as well. But we did go through the phase of bigger beers here as well, big American IPAs and double IPAs, which I think was great. We were already ahead of the curve on the session side of things, because when we started 8 years ago, we were doing, our mandate was everything below 5%. So we were already doing session beers at that point in time. The next 10 years, we're going to see. I mean, there's so many breweries opening up. It seems that every week there's a new brewery. I don't know if the bubble is going to burst, but I think we're going to see a winnowing out of those breweries. That I think it's great to trial the new breweries and support them, but some are not going to be producing great beer.
Yeah, that's what the next question was. Do you think the market is becoming saturated?
Not yet. I think it will, probably. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of local breweries is great. I love that. And the market will decide what's gonna work. Whoever's producing the good beer, they'll succeed. For sure.
Favorite band or album?
Yeah, I'm the wrong guy to ask for that.
Not a music guy?
No, I'm not totally music guy. I'm a classical musician, though.
Oh, yeah?
I'm a trombonist. I play with Hamilton Phil. I play with Orchestra London.
Well, there must be something
as far as bands go.
Well, yeah. And what's a favorite piece?
New York Phil would be the favorite band. And favorite piece, something like Mahler 2, Bruckner 4, stuff like that for sure.
The most unique answer of that today.
There you go. So I'm not a band.
That's
band
it. That's
guy.
cool. No, that's what we're looking for. So, and I should actually fix that question because it's more rock centric.
Oh, you don't need to fix the question. You get what you get, right?
Yeah. What were you doing before you started making billions?
As a brewer, God, I was making billions as a freelance musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just went from one hard luck case to another.
I'm still a freelance musician though,
Yeah.
so I'm doing both now.
That's awesome.
So right now, just over the last few weeks, it's been like 7 days a week, gigs on weekends and evenings as well. That's tapering off for me. The classical side of things runs similar to the school year, so now I'm sort of tapering down as production here is ramping up, which is great. And it will be the opposite in September, October, when production sort of slows a little bit here. I'll pick up again with the orchestral stuff.
Very cool. That's awesome.
Bizarre, right?
No.
That's not the answer you were expecting.
No, but awesome to hear. Like this is the whole point of some of these questions is to get to know the people that are doing this.
Sure.
And yeah, you're the first musician / brewer.
Bro, well, the breweries you visited, Wellington is like, they're rife with musicians.
Is that right?
Not classical musicians, but they could put a band together, and I think they have put a band together with their brewers and packaging guys. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Awesome. Name one person from any time in history, living or dead, that you'd like to sit down and have a beer with.
Again, I forgot about this question. Right off the top of my head, I mean, somebody like Bach, like just a major figure like that. I'd love to pick his brains. I'd love to see what kind of person he's like. I mean, his music is amazing. His music is perfection, but I'd be really curious to see what he's like as a person. You know, maybe he's not perfection as a person.
Be careful when you try to meet your heroes, right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So true.
Yeah. That's it.
All right, awesome.
Awesome.
Great.
Thanks for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
Sorry to keep you.
No problem at all.